verbal part, on
Yes.
the slideshow, you say never name a rate over the phone, give a proposal. Can you give us kind of like the example of what made in your life, what made you write that down?
Oh, sure. Well, because I lost a lot of work, because I would name a rate on the phone, and people would think, oh gosh, that's really expensive. But as I said before, as a journalist, I'm an efficient writer and editor, and I can do a project quicker than a lot of other people. So the two reasons that I don't name a rate over the phone. One is that I want a chance to sell myself. So I want to send a one-page proposal that says not only the hourly rate, but the total project rate, so that the client can do the calculation and say, oh, okay, so she'll get it done maybe faster than this other person who's charging less, or at least the same. It's going to cost me the same overall. And I can also put in there not just will edit booklet, but brings 20 years of writing and editing experience to produce this booklet, and I put in all of the steps that happen in an writing, editing, or production process. So it's almost like your little cover letter or resume, your one-page proposal. And that way you're not going to have clients who are just shopping for the lowest price. Because in freelancing, what you want are good clients. You want clients who appreciate the value that you're bringing to the table, who aren't just saying, well, this person is charging $50 an hour and this person's charging $60, so we'll go with the 50. Who are actually looking at the value that you bring.
So it's like kind of like saying, oh, I'm a one-man newsroom or one-man workstation. Like you don't need to hire out all these outside people.
No, I'm not saying that so much. I'm saying, if someone says to me, okay, we have a 100-page report that we need edited, what's your hourly rate? I'll say, well, tell me a little bit about the project. How many writers do you have? What's the timeline? What's the, what kind of shape? Are they all native English speakers? And I'll get a little information about the project. And then very quickly, I have a standard one-page proposal. I say, you know what, I'll send you a proposal. Instead of saying, okay, my rate is X. And then that same day, I'll send them a one-page PDF with my experience and why, sort of subtly why they should hire me, as well as all of the things I'm going to bring. Because often also in that proposal, you're going to bring things to their attention if they haven't worked with a lot of journalists before, that they may not realize that they're getting from you. Does that help? Mm-hmm. So it's not that you're going to be hiring out the other people, it's that you want to demonstrate in that document why you're worth your rate and why they should hire you. And then thank you for bringing me back to the slide again. Question.
You find with so many journalists on the loose, that had staff jobs before, but now they're freelancing, that their rates are going down? The pay is going down?
I have not found that pay is going down. I actually pretty much every year have made more money as a freelancer, with the exception of the year that I decided to not work 1 million hours a week, and then I didn't make as much money. But the thing about freelancing is it's really hard, and it takes a lot of energy and confidence, and there's not a lot of people who really enjoy doing that. So many people who are freelancers go back and get a full-time job, and there are a lot of people who do it for a couple of years and then stop. So I found that my clients really appreciate knowing that I'm in it for good. They know they can call me even if it's just once a year, and I'm going to do a great job. So there are definitely people out there who want to underpay you. I mean, there's definitely people who are trying to exploit out-of-work journalists, but I feel like I just won't work for them. And there are lots of good clients, and there's also a lot of new publications starting up, and they often have a big startup budget, and they're looking for people quickly. So in my experience, I haven't seen rates going down. But I've only been doing this for 6 years. So when you talk to people who freelanced 20 years ago, rates are definitely lower than they were then. And I want to thank you for bringing me back to my slide, because I didn't mention the last 3. So stop working when you've hit your time budget is a key point. So if for my hypothetical 800-word story that I'm doing for 50 cents a word, I may budget, 4 hours for that because I want to make $100 an hour. So I will actually track at the top of the document that I'm keeping my notes in, the time I'm spending on interviews, the time I'm spending on reporting. And when I see I'm starting to get close to how much time I have for reporting, I really try to wrap it up. And that's a discipline that I've also developed over the last 6 years, that it's so much fun to report a story and learn interesting new things. And if you apply that discipline to the process, then you end up making the most of your time and still delivering a quality product. The first rate is usually the final rate. So this is another thing. Often you'll have a client who comes in and says, we're just starting up now, we can't pay that much, but I really want to get a good stable of freelancers I can count on, and then we'll see if we can increase the rate. Well, I rarely find that happens. I've gotten raises over, with my best clients. I've gotten increase in rates only because I've asked for them and I've shown why I deserve them. So I really, and several times I've had people promise this, just start working for us for a little less than you're used to and we'll see if we can bump you up later. And it rarely happens. And then we covered the never name a rate over the phone. So this is kind of this is also on the handout, how to calculate your freelance rate. So don't get scared by all the numbers. It's just, lots of examples to give you some perspective. So this is one of the ways that when I started out, I thought, okay, how much should I be charging? Because when you're employed, you think, okay, here's my full-time salary. I just divide it by 52 weeks, divide that by the number of hours in a week, and that's what I should charge as a freelancer, right? No, because as a freelancer, you are not getting benefits. You're not getting health care. You're probably not getting a retirement for many of your clients, right? So you need to think about all of those things. You're also spending a lot of your time doing the business side of freelancing. So you're invoicing, you're marketing, you're networking, and you're also sort of keeping yourself fresh. You're doing your own professional development. So you really need to factor all those things in. So this is my 1,900 work hours in a year, because I don't want to work crazy. I don't want to be insane while I'm a freelancer. Assume 30-40% is going to be spent on the business side. So that really only leaves you 28 hours a week for the actual work that's going to be generating revenue. And then you can see down at the bottom, if you want to make $50,000 a year, you want to bill $37 an hour, up to if you want to make $150,000 of gross income, that's before taxes or health insurance or retirement, you need to bill $111 an hour. So if that looks pretty good, remember you have taxes, you have overhead, you have health insurance, you have to fund your own retirement. I have a self-employed 401k that I fund every year because I'm hoping to freelance long term and I want to be able to stop at some point. Yes?
Speaking of